There's a lot of innovation out there, but how do you decide which technologies and trends are going to be the ones that have a significant impact in the medium to long term, and which ones are just passing fads or flights of fancy? Unless you immerse yourself in technology and you're sensitive to the really innovative technologies, you have to rely on others. One way of doing that is to look at tools such as the Gartner hype cycle. This describes the life cycle of an innovation in terms of expectations surrounding it. When a technology is invented, the technology trigger, the expectations are low, but very rapidly people start to hype the product. It climbs what Gartner referred to as the peak of inflated expectations. The top of that peak, hype, is really, really built up around the product. People realise, though, that the technology is not necessarily going to deliver all that was promised or as quickly as it was promised, and so the expectation falls. The product plunges towards the trough of disillusionment, the low point, the point at which people believe, oh, this will never work. But then that's when the technology starts to become productive. People start to see how to use it. They start to be able to use it appropriately. It climbs the slope of enlightenment. And when it's fully productive, when it's fully understood how to use this technology, it reaches the plateau of productivity. This could correspond to a commodity stage almost. This thing is truly embedded now. So this hype cycle is actually for emerging technologies from 2009, and so we see things like 3D printing in the ascendant in terms of hype. At the top are ebook readers, so according to Gartner at least, expectations will soon start to plummet about what these ebook readers will deliver. Currently languishing in the trough of disillusionment are RFID tags, so that went through its hype stage over the last couple of years. Only now are people really starting to work out how to use RFID appropriately. And climbing up towards the plateau of productivity, we have speech recognition services, automatic transcription, translation services are going to be in there as well. There are hype cycles for other areas of technology. So this one shows the social software hype cycle for 2009. Climbing up towards the top of social media consulting, so don't hire a social media consultant. They'll be out of vogue very, very rapidly. On the way down are prediction markets. So these were markets where the wisdom of the crowds might be used to predict a technology, no longer in vogue, according to Gartner. Public virtual worlds are down there in the trough of disillusionment. That's where all the Second Life money has gone. And climbing the slope of enlightenment, we have wikis and RSS in the enterprise. And up at the top we have blogs and presences are now well-established technologies, again according to Gartner. In practical terms, here we have another take on the hype cycle. As soon as the technology is invented, tech blogger Robert Scoble gets hold of it, starts hyping it. When it's really, really popular, Britney steps in, takes it to the top of the curve, where Oprah milks this technology for all it's worth, at which point your mum will probably start to hear about it, but that's the point at which everyone else has realised that it's actually not going to work very well at all. Right down in the trough of disillusionment, that's when your boss picks up on the technology. He's actually a wily old beast. He doesn't believe in any of this hype nonsense. And only when the technology has been adopted by absolutely everybody does your IT department actually hear about it. One other thing to bear in mind about technology is that when we're presented with a new technology, we tend to overestimate the effects that it's going to have in the short run and potentially underestimate the effects in the long run. So this law, coined by Rory Mara, describes that quite well. And if we relate it back to the hype cycle, we can see that right in the beginning, when we're climbing up the hype curve up to the peak of inflated expectations, this is when we're overestimating the effects. Actually, as soon as the product has made it to the plateau of productivity, we might well have underestimated the actual effects that this technology will have had.